In 1978, Season 5, Episode 22 of Happy Days premiered and introduced the world to Mork from Ork, portrayed by Robin Williams. The zany alien antics of Williams as Mork proved to be incredibly popular with audiences, and in September of 1978, the producers of Happy Days created the spin-off series Mork and Mindy. The show focused on Mork, a friendly extraterrestrial from the planet Ork, and his human roommate and best friend, Mindy. In 1980, Mattel released a handful of toys based on the show, and today we'll be taking a look at Mork from Ork himself and his egg ship, here on Creed's Collection. Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Creed's Collection. My name's Creed, and today we're checking out Mork from Ork from the 1980 Mork and Mindy toy line by Mattel. Mork is an extraterrestrial from the planet Ork sent to Earth on a peaceful observation mission. Upon arriving on Earth, he meets Mindy McConnell, an everyday woman who takes him in, shelters him, and helps him understand Earth's people and customs. Mork reports back to his unseen supervisor Orson, relaying information about the planet and its inhabitants until he is eventually reassigned. And now that we know a bit more about Mork from Ork, let's take a closer look. Mork traveled to Earth in an egg ship, and as you can see it says right on the front here, Mork from Ork egg ship, and that is hilarious to me. You can see there's also a canopy here for Mork to look out of, and they added that because the original ship on the show didn't have it. There's also a flat spot here on the bottom with little feet, and you can use it to display the ship. Otherwise, it would just roll all over the place because it is an egg shape everywhere other than that flat spot. Right here you can see the seam, and that of course is how you open the ship up, and we're going to go ahead and do that right now. You got Mork at the controls there, and I'm going to go ahead and put the top of the ship over to the side so we can get a better look at the cockpit area. You can see there's a lot of details and controls around the sides of the ship, and Mork sits kind of recessed back in his seat. I really like the design of this. I think it looks cool, but we're going to go ahead and take Mork and remove him for the moment so we can get a better look at the seat underneath. You can see it's got these lines in it for some texture, and like I said, even though it's all the same color blue, I still think they did a good job making this look like the cockpit of a spaceship. Around the edge of the ship here you can see the lip, and that allows you to snap the top part of the ship on, so it just pops on like so. And you notice the inside of the top of the ship, there's not really anything going on except for there is a serial number right there. You know, considering that Orkans use egg ships that crash and break upon arrival on a planet, it's a good thing Mork got to Earth on his first try. I seem to be stranded on some strange alien world on my way to Earth. I need to report to Orson immediately. Mork calling Orson. Come in, Orson. Mork calling Orson. Come in, Orson. It's not working. What do I do now? Hey, are you okay over there? Can we help you out with anything? Nanu. Yeah, Nanu. Are you lost? Yes, I am looking for Earth. Earth, huh? Never heard of it. Well, what planet is this? All I can tell you is if there's a bright center to the universe, you're on the planet that it's farthest from. Shazbot. Shazbot indeed, Mork. And now we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at Mork from Ork himself. And I'm pretty sure I just set a record for the worst Robin Williams impression ever. But unlike my impression, this figure is actually a really excellent representation of Robin Williams in my opinion. I think they also did a fantastic job on his Orkan uniform. It looks really vibrant. The bright reds and the silvers, it's just a great look. He's also held up really well too. If you exclude the paint on his hands, he looks nearly perfect. As we get closer to the face as well, you can see that the sculpt is spectacular. They crushed this. I am not joking around. I am awed how much like Robin Williams this figure looks. And no, he never had eyes painted on his face. This is just how he's always looked. He has a really good hair sculpt, and just, again, the facial details are stunning. The nose, the cheekbones, his chin. It is extremely Robin Williams. I'm also really partial to the silver triangle on his chest here. It always made me think of Superman as a kid. I really like it. There's a lot of details in the body of the figure. You can see folds and wrinkles in his clothing right here. You can see his belt as well. And like I said, all the silver and black paint has held up really good except for the hands, which should be the same color as the triangle, but unfortunately they have faded. To me, it's a minor issue. I still think the figure looks amazing overall. Down here on the feet, you can see that the paint has held up very well. It's still the same color as the triangle, and there's also some cool details down here, like this texturing going down the side, and you can also see the sole of the boot as well as the toe. Mattel really packed a lot into a small, simple figure. There's not too much going on here on the back of Mork except for his copyright information on the small of his back, but first we're going to take a look at his articulation. Mork's hips have a 90-degree bend forward, and they will go back just a little bit, but not too much. His arms also have a joint that goes up and around full 360 if you want it to. His head can turn left and it can turn right, and that is it. That covers all 5 points of articulation for Mork from Ork. On the base of Mork's ship, you can see the copyright information, 1979 Paramount Pictures Corporation, made in Hong Kong. And on the lower back of the figure, 1979 PPC Paramount Pictures Corp, made in Hong Kong. And now for our He-Man size comparison. As you can see, the 4-inch Mork is quite a bit smaller than He-Man and the other Masters. And much like Tatooine, Eternia is a planet that the friendly Orkin would definitely not want to find himself stranded on. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy retrospective for Mork from Ork, from the 1980 Mork and Mindy toy line by Mattel. My mom bought me this toy when I was 5 or 6 years old, and I loved it. I played with it all the time, and sadly, I completely destroyed it. So I did pick this one up later in life to replace the one from when I was a kid. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a thumbs up, and if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it, and it would help my channel grow. I do a retrospective on a toy from my vintage collection every Wednesday, so hope to see you next week and every week after, here on KREED'S Collection.